All right, Mr. Taliaferro, how's everybody doing out there? Some big stuff happened in the NBA yesterday. The All NBA teams were announced as we got, a game or so left, a game or two left, possibly in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we now know what players have accomplished their All NBA status again. I want to put that on your screen real quick. Let's look at some of these guys that made the All NBA team. Obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo and James Harden were the only two guys to get 100% of the votes to be All NBA first team. Steph Curry got 91% of the first place votes. Paul George and Nikola Jokic, they round out the first team. I think all well-deserving guys. That is your All NBA first team. Congratulations to all those guys. Paul George, Nikola Jokic specifically. Good to see them on that list. They deserved it. All NBA second team. I have no problems with the All NBA first team, by the way. So the All NBA second team, we have Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, Kawhi Leonard, and Kyrie Irving. I have no problems with the second team either. Joel Embiid, when healthy, was phenomenal. Kevin Durant, I think he deserves to be right there, second team. I wouldn't put KD first team, but I definitely think he deserves to be second team. Damian Lillard is another one of those guys who I wouldn't put first team, but definitely second team. Kawhi Leonard, obviously, the only thing with him is he misses a lot of games. Had he played at least closer to 82 games, let's be honest, the Raptors probably would have been a number one seed. If they would have been a number one seed, then obviously we can have the conversation of Kawhi over maybe a Paul George who missed a lot of time. Kawhi would have been in that MVP conversation too had he played all 82 games. But nevertheless, I could see him on that second team. Kyrie Irving, Boston. Boston was around that 4 seed, 5 seed all year. I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. Again, I'm fine with that. I'll just leave it at that. I'm fine with that. Third team, here's where the controversy kind of hit. We got Russell Westbrook, Blake Griffin, LeBron James, Rudy Gobert, and Kemba Walker. So first off, let's congratulate LeBron James. LeBron James has been on an All-NBA team 15 times in a row. He has been on a first team since 2007 when he was on a second team. But this year, again, that streak comes to an end. He's on the NBA third team. LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers did not live up to some people's expectations. Had the Lakers just made it to the 6th seed, I believe LeBron would have had a case to be made that he should be on the second or maybe the first team with Paul George struggling down the stretch. But because of his team not, honest to God truth, just not making the playoffs at all, you couldn't put him on that first team and not the second team either. So LeBron's on that third team. Also, guys like Russell Westbrook, he did average a triple-double again. I think Russell Westbrook is very tough to kind of see where he deserves to be. But I'm guessing maybe the third team is a decent spot for him. Blake Griffin, third team. His Pistons team made the playoffs. He's the only star on his team. I'm fine with that. Rudy Gobert, I don't know if he's an All-NBA caliber player, but I know they were looking for another big man. And Kemba Walker. So Kemba Walker of the Charlotte Hornets is the last guy selected for an All-NBA team, and that is big time for a couple of reasons. So as we congratulate Kemba Walker, he now can go get 5 years, $221 million in Supermax money. One guy that feels as if though he was snubbed is Klay Thompson. So with Klay Thompson and Bradley Beal not making All-NBA teams, that Supermax extension for them goes down significantly. For those who don't know, stars get their money based on how many All-NBA selections they make and other incentive-based things in their contract. So in regards to Klay Thompson, by him not making that team, he just cost himself $31 million. If he decides to re-sign with Golden State. Let me take that a step further. If Klay Thompson decides to leave Golden State after not being on that All-NBA team, the most Klay Thompson can make is 4 years, $141 million. Again, great money, but that's almost $80 million with only 1 year in the contract difference that Klay can make now if he decides to leave the Warriors. This might be a big deal coming NBA free agency. I think this is big stuff. Like the camera guys were right around and the reporters were right around Klay Thompson as he found out the news yesterday, and he was shocked. You know, he was not happy about not making that team. He's like, yo, there's not 2 or 3 shooting guards better than me in this league. And by the way, Klay Thompson, I agree with you. I don't think there's 3, 4 shooting guards better than him in this league. And he's clearly talking about Kemba Walker and Russell Westbrook making that third team over him. But I do want to say this to you, Klay Thompson. Those guys are challenging themselves more than you are. Period. Like, Klay, I've been telling you guys this for a couple years now. I haven't had Klay on my All-Star team the last 2 years. I'm fine with him making it, but to me, I wouldn't have had him on the team. He is a phenomenal basketball talent. He is one of the 12 best players in the Western Conference. But I gauge this stuff on responsibility. In regards to the All-NBA teams, there's only 15 spots. Klay Thompson, you're the third option on your own team, and you think you're supposed to be on the third team All-NBA? It makes no sense. You don't deserve to be on the team because your responsibility night in, night out is not as great as some of the other guys around the league, like a Russell Westbrook, who a lot of nights, it's not Paul George leading that team. It's Russ leading that team for good or for bad. Kemba Walker, he's the only all-star caliber guy in Charlotte. Sorry, Klay Thompson. You got guys by the name of Steph Curry and Kevin Durant at your disposal. Have you heard of them? Draymond Green sometimes carries y'all. DeMarcus Cousins had a great game or two. I'm sorry, Klay. What the hell? Do you just want us? See, Klay Thompson wants us to remember the 60-point game against the Bulls, all the great shooting nights that he has when the ball ain't hitting the ground, right? He wants us to remember those moments, but he wants us to forget the nights where he goes 14 points, 7 or 16 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, right? Where he wasn't really involved in the game, and Kevin Durant goes for 30 and Steph goes for 26. He wants us to forget those nights because those nights do happen too. You see, if Kemba Walker puts up 14 points, 9 times out of 10, his team lost. If Russ drops 11 points, his team probably lost. They don't have the luxury of taking nights off like you do, Klay Thompson. Have you forgotten that, bro? I've said this time and time and again. You know, we talk about Kevin Durant, and he's said he's the game's best player and all that. He wants to be respected like the LeBron James of the world. And now Klay Thompson's mad that he went on the All-NBA teams. I'll say it again. Klay, Kevin Durant, y'all want to be treated like an All-NBA player or the best player in the NBA. You have to challenge yourself more. If you don't want to challenge yourself more, if you want to play on a great team, fine. Get your awards in the playoffs. But in regards to regular season accolades, those go to guys who don't have as much help, as many all-stars, and just supporting cast as you guys. That's just the nature of the beast. Reward guys who have more responsibility, who can't turn to their left and there's an all-star, one of the greatest shooters of all time, or turn to their right and one of the greatest talents at 6'11", 7 feet, who can shoot with anybody and put the ball on the ground like a guard. Right? Like, the other guys don't have that. You do. That's why you're not an All-NBA player. I'm out.
I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
Got the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Mr.Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr.Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV, here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.